I grew up in a small rural town in northern Pennsylvania, where the houses stood miles apart and the forests felt ancient. People around here didn't really believe in ghosts, but they did believe in warnings. And one of the biggest warnings was about Black Hollow Road. The local legend was simple. If you read driving on that road at night and you hear a whistle, you do not stop the car, ever. For any reason. I always thought it was just a silly campfire story, something to scare the kids, until the night it happened to me. It was a cold November night in 2018. I was driving home from my late shift at around 2:30 in the morning. The fog was so thick my headlights barely cut through it, and the silence was heavy. My phone was dead, so it was just me, my thoughts, and the hum of the engine. Just as I was making the big curve on Black Hollow Road, my car radio, which hadn't worked in months, suddenly crackled to life. It wasn't music or static. It was a rhythmic, raspy sound, almost like breathing. And then, from somewhere out in the fog, I heard it. Whistle? 2 slow, deliberate notes, rising at the end like a question. My first thought was it had to be the wind, or maybe some strange animal, but it came again, this time closer, like it was right beside my window. My heart started pounding. I slammed my foot on the gas. The car lurched forward, but as I sped up, the whistling got louder, keeping perfect pace with me. It was chasing me. Suddenly, a loud thwack hit the back of my car. Not a branch, not a rock. It sounded like a heavy hand slapping flat against the metal trunk. I didn't dare look back. I just floored it, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles were white. And I didn't slow down until I saw the first hazy glow of a street light on the edge of town. When I finally pulled into my driveway, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely turn off the engine. I got out and forced myself to look at the back of the car. And there, in the thin layer of road dust on the trunk, were the 4 long distinct finger marks, dragged downwards as if something had tried to hold on. The next morning, I tried to tell my old neighbor, Mr. Halbert, what happened. His face went completely pale before I could even finish. He just looked at me with wide, terrified eyes and said, "It wasn't calling for you. It was calling for what was in your car." For days after the incident, I felt like I was being watched. Even at home, the silence had weight. I kept hearing faint breathing near my bedroom window at night, like someone standing outside in the dark. Then the whistling started again, not outside, inside the house. It happened the first time at 3:12 a.m. I woke up, unable to move, my chest frozen with fear, and from the hallway, I heard the same 2-note whistle I'd heard on the road. Slow. Patient. Like it knew I was awake. The next morning, I checked the hallway. My floor had dust, since I hadn't cleaned in weeks. And there, in the dust, were wet footprints. Small, bare, leading toward my room, then stopping only inches from my bed. I called the sheriff. He checked the house, but found nothing. That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed awake on the couch, lights on. Around 2:40 a.m., the lights flickered. My TV turned on by itself, switching through channels faster and faster, until every channel showed the same thing. A dark road. Mine. Black Hollow Road. The screen went black, then a face flashed for half a second. Pale skin, hollow eyes, black lips, and a wide, broken smile. I only saw it for a moment, but I still remember that smile. Then I heard the whistle again, not from the TV. From right behind the couch, I ran outside without looking back and drove straight to Mr. Halbert's house. I didn't even knock. He opened the door before I reached it. He looked exhausted. He only said, "It won't stop until it has taken what it wants." "What does it want?" I asked. He didn't answer. He just pointed behind me. I turned around. Standing at the end of the hallway was a tall, thin figure. Too thin to be human. It let out a whistle. Soft. Slow. Familiar. I froze. I couldn't scream. Then everything went dark. I woke up in my car, parked on Black Hollow Road, engine dead, fog surrounding everything. My phone was on the passenger seat, with a new notification, a video recorded at 3:12 a.m. When I played it, I heard my own voice whispering, "It's inside the house." And now, it knows my name. The whistler hasn't come for me since that night, but sometimes, when I drive late through lonely roads, I still hear those two slow notes trailing through the fog, and I never stop the car. I tried to move on after that night. The night I woke up on Black Hollow Road with the recording whispering my name. For weeks, nothing happened. No footsteps in the hallway, no whistle outside the windows, no shadows leaning over my bed. But the silence didn't feel like peace. It felt like waiting. I stopped driving at night. I kept my curtains shut. I even bought a new phone and changed my number, thinking maybe the whistler used some signal, some connection, some thread I didn't understand. For a while, it worked. Until the night, I found something on my porch. A small wooden box, old water stained, smelling like damp soil and rust. There was no note, just a single cracked cassette tape inside. No label, no markings. Just dried black dirt rubbed into the plastic, like it had been buried for years. I didn't own a cassette player, but my neighbor's kid had one in his garage. I borrowed it after dark, took it inside, locked all doors, and sat on the living room floor with the tape in my hands. 14 minutes. Primera, esta red, este italiano. Something in me begged not to play it, but curiosity is louder than fear. And I needed answers. I pushed the tape in. Then a voice whispered, "You drove too fast." My blood went cold. The voice wasn't human. It dragged each word like it was pulling them through broken teeth. Then the recording continued, and I heard my own car driving. The engine, the tires against gravel, the exact same sounds from that night. The tape was playing, my Whistler night, like someone else had recorded it from outside my car. Next came the whistle. 2 notes, slow, but deeper this time, like something huge was making that sound. The tape clicked, more static. Then a second voice appeared, faint but familiar. It was me. My name. It knows my name. My voice echoed like I was speaking inside a tunnel. But then the recording shifted, and I heard something I had never said. My own voice whispered, "It's not following me anymore. It's following you." I froze. That sentence wasn't on the earlier recording. I never said it. I never even thought it. But the voice on the tape sounded exactly like me. Suddenly, the lights in my house flickered. The cassette player stopped by itself. And beneath me, right behind me, I heard that whistle again. 2 notes. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. My whole body locked in place, while the air behind me grew colder than winter wind. I could see my breath fog in front of my face. Then, slowly, a long shadow stretched across the floor, tall and thin, like it had no bones in its spine. The whistle sounded again. Closer, right next to my ear. My vision blurred. My knees gave way. I collapsed on the floor, crawling away without looking back, dragging myself toward the front door. But as I reached it, something cold wrapped around my ankle. Not a hand, but something like fingers, long and damp, gripping hard enough to bruise. I kicked, screamed, grabbed the doorknob, and pulled myself outside with every bit of strength I had left. The grip released instantly, almost like whatever it was didn't want to step past the doorway. I fell onto the dirt, gasping for air, staring at the open door behind me. Nothing came out, just darkness. I moved out of that house the next morning. But the box, the cassette tape, the shadow. There is one thing that keeps me awake at night. Someone placed that tape on my porch, meaning the whistler wasn't alone. Someone, or something, is helping it. And I don't know why it told me that last part. It's not following me anymore. It's following you. But I know one thing. If you ever hear a whistle on a lonely road, don't stop. Don't look around.